Foldable phones so far have had the problems of either being too big and bulky or too small with a tiny cover display and poor battery life. And I don't think anybody is a real fan of the visible crease in the middle. Enter the Oppo Find N, company's first commercially available foldable flagship that solves all these problems in one go. It's delightfully compact to hold when folded, with the cover display stretching almost the entire area, and it unfolds into a large pocketable tablet-like display that's wide but not too tall. But more importantly, it doesn't have any visible crease in the middle, at least not that you can see instantly. You can also use it as a regular mini phone, availing all the comforts of the compact form factor, or you can kick back and relax with a larger display to watch an episode and even get some serious work done. And all this for just a little more than the price of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3. This one costs 9,000 yuan in China, but don't get your hopes up. This one's not coming to India anytime soon. Oppo mentioned that it's only going to be China only for the moment, but if it does have plans to go global, there are a lot of reasons to buy it. Hi, I'm Shubhajit. You're watching MySmartPrice. Let's get this party started. It all starts with the design. Oppo said they experimented with many foldable form factors, including a rollable one, before zeroing down on this design. And I think Oppo has hit the jackpot with this one. It's just as compact as the iPhone 13 mini, but the foldable display inside won't make you miss out on the Pro Max Ultra experience. The rear panel has a frosted glass finish with a camera module very akin to the Find X3 Pro. There's dual speakers at the bottom, fingerprint sensor embedded in the power button, and a thick hinge with "Designed for Find" engraved on it. It doesn't carry an official IP certifications, but Oppo said the phone can survive some amount of water splashes, but not the full swimming pool treatment. There's also Gorilla Glass Victus on top of both the displays. The hinge is the real engineering showstopper of the Oppo Find N, because unlike the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3, which doesn't even close completely, you can't even pass a thin sheet of A4 paper through the fold of the Oppo Find N. Watch. It folds flat just like a book. So how did Oppo accomplish this? The hinge creates a water drop shaped fold from the ultra thin glass, like this, which then lets the rest of the glass fold flat. The rounded bit of the fold is tucked away under the hinge at closing, so even when you unfold it flat, there's no crease visible. It's certainly ingenious, but I've always regarded the crease as just a minor inconvenience of using a foldable smartphone. The real issues arrive from the cover display either being too small, like in the Z Flip 3, or too narrow, like in the Z Fold 3. The Find N gets around it with a curved 18:9 cover display on the front, measuring 5.49 inches, and a large 4:3 panel inside, measuring 7.1 inches. The result is you get the best of both worlds. The cover display is large enough to be used independently, whip it out of the pocket to reply to a message like you would on a normal smartphone, or unfold it for a large screen experience. To keep the costs in check, the outer display is only 60Hz, but the 7.1-inch ultra-thin glass inside gets the full LTPO treatment with variable refresh rate of up to 120Hz. As a result, there is a noticeable difference in the UX going from the cover display to the inner display, and it sort of incentivizes you to use the inner display more due to its smoothness. The inner panel is where the real magic happens. It's a 1080p screen, once again to keep the costs in check, but it hits a peak brightness of 800 nits typically, and even 1000 nits in high brightness modes, and also supports HDR10+. It does feel just as plasticky to touch as a Samsung foldable, and you can sort of make out the two ends of the hinge on the screen, but there's no visible crease interrupting whatever you're watching on the screen. Using the phone feels surprisingly natural. I can't say the same about Samsung's foldables though. Both the Flip and the Fold had me relearn my smartphone habits all over again. The Flip had me flipping it open for everything outside of just glancing at the notifications, while the Fold 3 felt unnaturally narrow and tall to even carry around in the pocket. The Find N is perfectly pocketable. Folding and unfolding the Find N is a two-hand job, and the hinge did feel a little too stiff for my liking. But it's a freeform hinge, meaning you can keep it folded at any angle between 45 to 120 degrees. Anything more than this, and the phone automatically settles for the closest resting state. This lets you keep the phone raised for a stable video or even a time lapse. The cover screen can also be used as a viewfinder for the rear cameras. Oppo has also made changes to ColorOS 12 to make room for the large screen. A simple 2-finger swipe along its spine splits the screen to run 2 different apps. That's probably the simplest split screen gesture that I have encountered. First party apps are of course tailored for the foldable form factor. The settings app gets a 2-column layout, the keyboard is split from the middle for better typing, and you can access multi-app split screen layout you regularly use in a snap. Popular global apps like YouTube and Instagram are naturally not optimized since this is a China-only device and most of the global apps are not available here. Heck, my unit didn't even have Google services available. So if Oppo ever plans to release it to regions outside China, there's still a lot of work left to do in optimizing the popularly used apps for the foldable form factor. Now if you're still watching, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more such awesome new tech videos. Now all said and done, the Find N is very much a flagship smartphone. The foldable form factor aside, it has the Snapdragon 888 under the hood combined with 12GB of LPDDR5 RAM and 512GB of UFS 3.1 storage. That's just as powerful as the Z Fold 3, but Oppo also managed to include a larger 4500 mAh battery in a smaller chassis. So at least on paper, I'm expecting the Oppo Find N to deliver longer battery life than the Z Fold 3. More than the benchmark scores, I wanted to know whether this design can handle the Snapdragon 888 with all its thermal insecurities, and well, you can see the CPU throttling test result for yourself. While the cores weren't throttled all that much, there was a significant increase in surface temperature, which makes me wonder if there's still some more work left to satisfy power users. The camera stack includes a 50-megapixel Sony IMX766 sensor for the primary camera, along with a 13-megapixel telephoto lens with 2x optical zoom and a 16-megapixel ultra-wide camera. For selfies and online meetings, there's a 32-megapixel camera on both the cover display and in the inner display. More than how the photos come out, I wanted to see if the benefits of the foldable form factor was leveraged by the camera. And for the most part, it does. The hinge turns the phone into its own tripod, letting you suspend the camera at any angle between 45 to 120 degrees, or you can use the cover display as a viewfinder. The camera app also adjusts itself into a large viewfinder when completely unfolded and goes split screen when the panel is flexed. The photos come out okayish from the main camera in the day and somewhat good at night, but the ultra-wide and telephoto cameras are just average. Now so far I've only explained the good parts of the Oppo Find N, and the good parts surely outweigh the bad, but it would be unfair if I didn't address the cons. For one, at 15.9mm, the Find N is thick AF when kept folded. It's also slightly heavier than the Z Fold 3 despite being smaller. And small things like not being able to set a separate wallpaper for the outer display and Android's general inability to run multiple instances of the same app side by side keeps it from becoming the real multitasking large screen phone right now. But has Oppo found the perfect foldable form factor? That it absolutely has. With a wider but more compact design, lower price tag and flagship performance, the Find N feels much less of a novelty and more mainstream than what Samsung has been able to offer. I for one will have a very hard time going back to my Z Flip 3 after knowing this exists in the wild. So that's the Oppo Find N and everything I hoped you wanted to learn about it. I sincerely hope that this one's going to be the last launch of the year, which reminds me, it's Christmas. So a very Merry Christmas to our dear viewers. Go enjoy the season, go enjoy your holidays, but before you do, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to MySmartPrice for more such awesome tech videos. Peace out.